How can you work in having a good relationship with yourself?
Work hard at it and we focus on it, that we can make it happen.
People who have accomplished great things did accomplish great things because they didn't give up.
Don't view it as a mission impossible. View everything as a mission possible.
3, 2, 1, upload.
Upload is an Amazon Prime original in which in 2033 humans are able to upload themselves into a virtual afterlife of their choosing. What part of the story for you guys is the most powerful and why?
Good question. I'll start. I think the most powerful aspect of the show is actually the relationships. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people in long distance relationships. And I think that's powerful today now because a lot of us find ourselves in long distance relationships. Our work is long distance. Our love lives are long distance through a phone. So I think that longing and isolation and a desire to be connected, even though you've got every opportunity to be connected, what that actually means, I think is a really powerful through line that is true for every single character.
I think it's definitely, especially with this season, it becomes kind of like the lack of red tape surrounding tech, that all of a sudden they're able to infiltrate. Not only do they have they own your soul, but they also own like your inner thoughts, which I think is pretty ridiculous. And I think also, we've talked about this a lot, the idea that some of this stuff seems so, we call it sci-fi and that it's fantastical, but it's only sci-fi until it actually becomes realistic. And a lot of this stuff is becoming realistic. So the rate that it is all becoming realistic is kind of terrifying. So I think that is like being part of a sci-fi show that so many people like the sci-fi aspects, watching that kind of bleed into reality is kind of a weird takeaway and kind of spooky.
We could be together forever.
You're so amazing, but forever is just like so long.
How did you come up with the original idea of the show? What was your drive behind making this film?
Oh, well, it actually started so long ago. I was a writer on Saturday Night Live, this sketch comedy show, and I was walking around New York trying to think of ideas for funny sketches and looking at things and exaggerating them. And there was all this advertising about CDs and digital music. And I was like, well, what else could you digitize? What's the craziest thing you could digitize? What if you could digitize your whole self and you could live in a video game? And I realized that the interesting part of that idea is that human beings would basically be creating their own heaven, and that depending on how they thought society should be arranged, the heaven could be very different experiences from one person to the next. And it seemed like a rich topic that deserved more than a sketch on a TV show. So I kind of put it in my trunk and then came back to it. At one point I thought it'd be a book, and I was working on it. And the real breakthrough was I have children that were playing a game called Club Penguin, where you're a little animated penguin and you live in a igloo. And they came to me and they said, can we buy a TV set for our igloo? It costs 99 cents. And I was like, in real money? And they're like, yes. And all you get is a TV set in your igloo. And I realized that if this ever came to pass, that the big tech companies would charge us for everything.
Everything, that's true.
Yeah, it became kind of an interesting new world, but with a lot to say about fairness and, capitalism, just a lot of interesting topics.
Yes! It's 10 a.m. Breakfast is over.
What? No, it's not even real food.
New guy coming through.
And in the world of Upload, people don't have to die. Nathan is told that he's likely to die from his injuries, and he can choose to have himself uploaded into a digital afterlife where he can still interact with the world of living. If you guys have the chance to be uploaded into a digital afterlife, what kind of thing would you guys like to experience in digital heaven?
I mean, I like what's going on in Lakeview. as far as digital heavens, I would be okay with it. Unlimited food and drink and lots of activities. It's kind of just like, it's a little bit old folks homey at times, but that's just because most of the people there are old, because it's, you're more likely to upload if you're
Exactly.
dying.
And Upload is a show that combines comedy, science fiction, mystery thrillers, and much more. Can you guys describe how all of these genres are combined and mixed in the show in one show?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually my favorite part. Like, that's my favorite thing about Upload, is that it does mix so many genres. In one scene, it's like you're focused on, maybe a love story. You focused on this connection, and then in another scene, you're focused on this sci-fi thing. I think the sci-fi and technology exists all around. I think it's the reason why it's a show that I like to watch over and over, because you're guaranteed you miss something when you watched an episode, and there's just so many juicy crumbs that the set designers include, the writers include, then there's this like whole suspense element to it, like what's going to happen next, what's going to happen by the end of this season. And then in all of that, the way you digest it is you just laugh through it. There's so many funny moments. And I don't know. I think that's just a great formula for a show. Why aren't all shows like that?
Right?
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck. What are you doing?
And in the world of Upload, people don't have to die. Nathan is told that he's likely to die from his injuries, and he can choose to have himself uploaded into a digital afterlife where he can still interact with the world of the living. What are the pros and the cons of digital heaven?
Well, one of the cons is you only exist on a screen. So if you're trying to talk to family, there's a scene that we didn't shoot for season 1, where he's trying to participate with his family afterwards, and they're passing around an iPad that he's on, and he's talking to his niece, and the niece's mother walks by and says, "No more screen time," and turns off the iPad, and he just he's out of the family dinner. So I think you're at the mercy of whoever is running the program, and in the show, that is a big tech company, and you've signed away your rights when you signed the terms of agreement, and he wants to participate in society, and he's fallen in love with a living person, and she's in love with him, and they have a relationship that's very pure, because it's not physical, although it can be physical if they wear the right equipment, and
Do I dare?
Dare.
Yes.
Hey, boundaries.
Cute. He thinks he's cute.
And Upload is created by Emmy award-winning Greg Daniels, who is the mastermind behind the shows like King of the Hills, The Office, Parks and Rec, and he has also worked in television series like Saturday Night Live and The Simpsons. One of the most sacred things about making a film is the relationship between the actors and the directors. What do you all learn the most about working with Greg?
I think one of the biggest things is how collaborative Greg is. You think of someone, Greg Daniels, legend, like someone, you listed his credits. This is a guy that's just amazing and a genius. And there's this tendency to feel like, oh, okay, I'm not going to say any ideas. Like none of my ideas could be worthy of this person. And Greg has a way of making you feel so comfortable, so welcome, and also that your voice and your opinion is valued, and it's so collaborative. He invited all of us to the writers' room and wants to know our ideas, wants to create the characters with us in mind, and so you feel like you're a co-creator, even though it's something he came up with 30 years ago. It very much feels like we have an ownership to it too. It's as much our baby too as it is his, and he has created that. So it's a dream.
What I love, I mean, beyond, I was such I'm such a fan, and so kind of like in every moment, I am like, oh man, like I'm just sitting here having a conversation with Greg Daniels, But I think what's also like really fun about being able to work with him and the directors and producers is that it's really collaborative. Like there have been so many moments where even in this season, for a scene that involves me, the casting, Greg sent me the casting and was like, choose who you want in the scene, you know? And I don't know if that happens often, but that was a surprise. That was a shock to me. And I felt very much like included. I felt like it was ours, if that makes sense.
Sorry, what was that now?
You get your cash either way, but I'm the one. Stop it!
And in this show, we're going to see a lot of futuristic technology where hologram phones, 3D food printers, and automated grocery stores are the norm. If you guys were to be able to travel to the future and invent a technology, what kind of technologies would you guys like to experience or invent?
I want teleportation strictly from a convenience
you stole
standpoint.
mine. I was just gonna say that.
It'd be so easy. That's all I want. I want to just be like, oh, I want to go here. Boom.
Boom.
Yes.
I think mine would be, this is so stupid, but I'm going to say it anyway. I want like a second skin sunscreen so I don't have to go through the process of putting on sunscreen.
You're right. It's so stupid.
Stupid.
It's called a shirt.
But what if I don't want to wear a shirt? Anyway, you can choose to put that directly in the garbage where it belongs. Okay, Ari? Just go ahead.
Okay. I think we keep the first one. We all agree with the first one.
Yeah. Good.
And in the world of Upload, people don't have to die. The script is just fantastic. From all of these seasons, which one was your favorite and why?
Episode 5 is my favorite. Just because there's so...
Which
there's
one was
so
episode
much...
5? What
Episode 5
happened without spoiling it?
Episode 5 is there's an invasion of privacy when it comes
Okay.
the dream.
Okay, Kevin, shut up.
That's all I'm saying about it. I love that as far as like storyline for myself and for you, comedically for you. That's my favorite for us. But then also that's the episode that also really dives into the prototypes situation with Ingrid, which is one of my favorite storylines from the season. The idea that, you can upload, but you can also have like a baby and still have a human experience, but how warped that is through the lens of a corporation, So I think that's really interesting. And it's also really, really funny. Owen Daniels does a great job.
Yeah, that definitely the prototypes episode is definitely one of my favorites. But of course, I agree with you. Just insert Kevin. Just put that, dub it over.
Then you're for sure. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
You can listen in on any upload.
Do me.
My God, look at her. She's so beautiful.
And Greg, you are the mastermind behind the shows like King of the Hills, The Office, Park and Rec. You had also worked on several television series, including Saturday Night Live, The Simpsons, and you're an Emmy Award winner. What would you say is the most important quality of a film director?
Well, when you're the director, you have to get the best out of a group of other creative people. And so you have to figure out how to manage them or lead them so that they all are being able to contribute the best of their own creativity. And then you pick and choose which parts you're going to use. But if you do it with too much of a heavy hand, then they shut down and they don't contribute. And if you don't have any hand at all, then it becomes like chaos. So the hardest part is it's probably like being the conductor of a symphony in some way. You have to get other people to do the music. Yeah.